Hi, I'm Jackie, and this is Still Becoming, her second chapter. In my first video, I shared with you when I realized that my body and mind were changing. So today, I want to talk to you about what I wish someone had told me sooner about menopause and what that would feel like. Now, I know not all women go through the same things. So I want to share what I'm going through just because it's been a struggle for me, not only emotionally, but physically and mentally. So when I thought about menopause, what I thought about was hot flashes, because that is the most common thing that you hear women go through is they get hot flashes. So that I was prepared for. I told my husband, I think we're finally going to agree on the temperature in the house because he keeps it freezing in here. And I am okay with the temperature. I mainly get the hot flashes a lot at night. So at night I wake up and I'm sweaty. So my husband will put the ceiling fan on tornado because he knows, like, once he sees those covers come off of me, he knows that I am hot and I'm sweaty. So that I was aware of. So I said, okay, I'll deal with that. I'll deal with that when it happens. The things I didn't expect, like the emotional things, all the depression, the brain fog, the lack of motivation, the fatigue, those things have hit me really hard. And that's when I started questioning my whole life. Some days I felt normal. And then I started noticing that most of my days, I started waking up emotional, really, really tired, super fatigued. And the best way I can describe it is if you drink and you wake up the next day with a hangover, that's how I started waking up almost every day. So for me, it felt like my body and my mind weren't in sync anymore. I just felt really disconnected from who I used to be. And that was scary because I didn't know why. And I know that I was going to go through menopause eventually. So I was in denial about it being menopause because I have this huge fear of getting old. And that just puts your stamp on it. Like, all right, here you go. It's the second part of your life. And, it's a little scary because now you're heading towards the end. And I didn't want to admit that this is probably what's going on. I just kept making up excuses, that it was work or whatever. So then that's when I said, okay, I need to, go and find out what I need because I know what's going on. So I went to my doctor and I got on hormones because the hormone changes that I was having really were affecting my confidence, my motivation, how I saw myself, how I handled stress. And I just kept blaming myself instead of trying to understand my body. So I went to go see her and she put me on hormones, which helped, but they don't make me feel like I used to. And I'm hoping that eventually once I cross this bridge, that I start feeling like myself again. But I have this client who has been going through menopause for 10 years, which was wild when she told me because I got scared. I was like, what? So I just hope that does not happen to me because I would be miserable because she's miserable. You could visibly see it on her. She's miserable. She even says she hates her husband, but that's just wild to me that it can last that long. So I'm hoping that I'm not one of those people because I don't know what I will do if it lasts that long for me. What helped me was not only the medication, it was also learning what was happening to my body and to my mind. So I started giving myself grace and I realized that I don't have to push the way I used to. Even though I want to, I don't have to. And that was a hard pill for me to swallow because, one, I am naturally a hyper person. Like, I have a ton of energy all the time. So when that changed, I didn't like how that felt. When I stopped wanting to be active, that was also a big change for me because that's not what I was used to. I used to do CrossFit. I used to do powerlifting. And fitness has been a big part of my life since I was 33. And I didn't want to do it anymore. I started doing like Pilates, just things that were easier on my body, just so that way I can get some kind of exercise in. But even that was a huge struggle for me. The changes that I'm feeling I need to make in my life, whatever it is, discovering my soul purpose, it is such a big, big desire that I feel. And I wish I can show you how I feel about it, because it pulls at my gut. Like, find it, Jackie, find it. So I'm determined to find it. Now, I don't know how. I don't know what I'm going to do. The first step I decided to take was I bought this book called Discovering Your Soul Mission. I'm going to start there. I'm going to read it and hope that it brings me some kind of idea, trying to find out who I am. I listened to this podcast and she talks about how women go to her to get their birth chart read because they feel like they need a change in their life. So I did that. I did do that as well. But it wasn't really clear. So I'm going to start with the book and then maybe go back to my birth chart and see if it makes sense to me. I don't know. I just know that I'm on a mission. I'm sharing this with you because I know there's some women out there who are feeling off and don't know why. And if that's you, I want you to know that you're not weak, you're not lazy, you're just changing. This season is so confusing, but it's part of life. And I have to get through it the best way I can and go through all the motions of it and see what happens when it's done. I just know that I am going to find my soul purpose for this second part of my life. You know, we're not done. We're still becoming. If this resonated with you, subscribe and walk this journey with me. Until next time.